What's up, bud? It's Rob. This is Apparel Success. And in this video here, what I want to share with you is how to drive more traffic to your clothing brand's website. You may only be getting 25 people, 50 people every single day to your website. And it's pretty unrealistic to expect to get 100 orders every day if you're only driving 25 people to your website. And the industry standard for fashion is between 1 to 5% with a conversion rate on your website. And so what we need to do inevitably is drive more quality traffic to your website. In this video, I'm going to cover every single way that you can drive traffic to your clothing brand's website. I'm going to talk to you about the strengths and weaknesses of each of them. And then I want to talk to you about which one I feel is likely best for you. This channel here is sponsored by my buds over at BrandCrowd. And if you aren't a designer yourself and you need designs made for your clothing brand, then I highly recommend you check them out. They have a huge library of already professionally designed logos that you can customize. So you can add your own fonts, your own layouts to them. All this is free to try. Then if you decide that you like the logo you've made, you can decide to purchase it, remove it from the marketplace so that it's yours. If you're interested, follow the link in the description because it'll give you a huge discount. All right, there are two ways to drive traffic to your clothing brand's website. That's it. There's organic traffic and there's paid traffic. Organic traffic is your ability to drive people to your clothing brand's website without spending any money. And you may be able to do this through the posts that you're making on social media, through giveaway contests that you're running, through celebrities and influencers actually making a post about you and driving traffic to your website. Whichever way doesn't involve you investing any money and people finding out about your clothing brand naturally, that is organic traffic to your website. The other form of traffic to your website is traffic that you've paid for. So if you decide to invest a certain amount of money, you can actually decide to get your clothing brand in front of a certain amount of people guaranteed. Now, a really important point to make here is that both paid traffic and organic traffic to your website are equally valuable. So I don't want you to think that one is better than the other. Organic traffic is something that you always want to be doing, and paid traffic is something that really you can only use if you have the money to invest in paid traffic and if you're at the right stage on your clothing brand's journey, okay? So I really want to walk you through this for my own clothing brand, the different stages of going from organic traffic and how I was driving traffic to my website organically. And then I want to talk to you about the paid traffic and where I'm at right now for my own clothing brand, okay? So basically with my own clothing brand, the first 2 years, we didn't spend any money really on Facebook ads and driving paid traffic to our website. And the reason for this was because we didn't have a lot of money and we were basically just hustling, okay? So it was like paid traffic wasn't an option. So how are we gonna get a lot of people to our website without spending a lot of money? And this is where I really came up with that Instagram system of engaging with a certain amount of people on a regular basis. And so what I did is I basically figured out who my target audience is, who exactly I want to sell to. I discovered where they're hanging out on Instagram, and then I invested a certain amount of time every single day into engaging with those people to drive a certain amount of traffic to my website every day. And basically, even though I wasn't driving millions of people to the site, it was enough to get momentum for my clothing brand and to actually get the ball rolling. So what I really want to tell you here is that if you're in that phase of having to drive organic traffic to your website because you don't have a ton of money to invest into Facebook ads, this is a really important period for you to go through. And it's all a part of the journey to achieving success for your clothing brand at the end of the day. And so let's talk a bit about how exactly to drive this traffic to your website if you don't have any money. The best method that I believe you can go about doing this is through engaging on Instagram, engaging on Twitter, if you're on Twitter, and engaging on TikTok, okay? Because right now, you can basically take it into your own hands and decide every single day how many people you want to get in front of. It's gonna require your own time, but I think that this is absolutely the best way to drive quality traffic to your website. If you hop on Instagram, you can find accounts that are similar to your clothing brand. They have a similar taste, a similar concept. And if you go to their followers, everybody who's following that account is likely going to be interested in your clothing brand. That's just a list of people that you can reach out to and you can engage with. You can like their pictures, you can comment on their pictures, you can send them a DM. And I'm not telling you to hard sell them here, okay? I'm not telling you to like hop into their DMs and be like, hey, like we'd really love to sell you our clothing, okay? It's not about that. It's just about getting in front of them. It's about introducing yourself. And you want to display your brand. You don't necessarily want to be trying to sell your brand all the time, okay? So when you reach out to these people on, say, Instagram, you find their account, you like a bunch of their pictures, you comment on a bunch of their pictures, organic comments, like comments that you actually feel inside of you. If you think a picture is really cool, if there's a cool looking dog, if there's like a nice view, write something that actually is aligned with their picture. And then in the DMs, if you want to DM them, just reach out and say, hey, we're a clothing brand, you know, it's really cool. We like what you've done here. You have a really cool account. And that's it. You don't need to try and sell them. You know, it doesn't need to be awkward. People who try to call you on your phone to try and cold call you, it usually doesn't work because they're like, hey, we want something from you. You definitely don't want to come from that place. But that's what I recommend that you do, okay? I recommend that you spend a lot of your time doing that in that beginning phase, because if this isn't working for you, if engaging with people on Instagram, liking and commenting and engaging with your target audience and just showing your brand to people isn't working, then clearly there's an issue with your foundation and you need to go back and work on your brand concept, work on your website, work on the posts on social media. And this is a constant thing that you need to be going through at the beginning phase. You will lock in eventually to the point where you have sales coming in on a regular basis from the efforts that you're putting in engaging with people organically on social media. Okay, you will reach a point with that if you are constantly tweaking your brand and if you're constantly working on figuring out exactly who your target audience is. Now, I know you're probably thinking, where's that crazy unique tactic that I can use to drive organic traffic to my website? And what I want to tell you is that there really isn't one, okay? It's hard work mainly, and obviously it's being smart, engaging with the right people and getting your brand to a certain point, you know, on its own. But by doing that, you should be able to make sales. It's kind of like a diet, right? There's no unique, crazy, fancy strategy. It's simple. If you eat healthy, you're going to be healthy and you're going to lose weight. It's very much the same way when it comes to engaging with your audience on social media and trying to build up your base of customers, okay? But it's just being consistent with it. It's sticking to it on a regular basis that's really going to pay off for you at the end of the day, allow you to build up that base of customers and work your way into the paid traffic model, which basically looks completely different. So once your brand has accumulated enough customers and you have enough data, then you're going to be able to use lookalike audiences on Facebook and create similar audiences on Google Ads, because I believe that they're called similar audiences on Google Ads. And I really can't do enough justice for you here explaining just how powerful this form of targeting is with advertising. I really believe it's the most underrated way of advertising that exists or that's ever existed online. And I know that's a big statement, but the reason for that is that no human being on this planet can grasp just how unbelievably sophisticated Facebook is and Google is when it comes to people's consumer behavior, social behavior. And so basically, if you upload your customer list to Facebook and you create a lookalike audience, Facebook is going to do a way better job than you ever could manually figuring out your demographics and your interests. It's going to find people exactly like your customer list and target them in the most efficient way possible at the best times of day when they're most likely to buy. It's going to hit them right when they know that, you know, a previous customer that did this thing at this exact time bought at this exact time, and we just can't even begin to fathom the technology that's going on there with Facebook and Google. And so what I've been experiencing lately is an absolutely massive boost in my own clothing brand's growth from using lookalike audiences. And so I'm not just talking out of my ass here. Really, like in the past week, I've gotten $7,000 worth of orders just from using these lookalike audiences and basically spending like not a lot of money at all on Facebook ads. And that's just because the targeting is so nailed in, because our customer list has been uploaded and we're targeting the perfect people for our clothing brand, people who obviously, you know, will be interested. And we have the right messaging because we went through that original phase with my clothing brand to figure all that out, to figure out exactly, you know, what our brand's about. We've displayed all the customers on our website so our brand looks really cool from that hustle phase, you know, and we're at this point now where we can now start scaling up using paid traffic. When you enter into the paid traffic model, you're really gonna have to keep a closer eye on your expenses because you've just introduced a huge new expense into your clothing brand's life, which is ad spend. Before, if you were just driving organic traffic to your website, that ad spend never existed inside of your expenses. And so you really need to keep a close eye on how much you're spending on ads, what your cost of goods sold are, all of your other extraneous little expenses, and make sure that your revenue is, at the end of the day, much higher than your expenses so that you actually have a profit and so that you're not losing money. So I really tried to give you a full picture of driving traffic to your clothing brand's website, depending on the different stages that you might be at with your clothing brand. And so, you know, if you're in that beginning phase, then focus on the advice that I gave you when it comes to organic traffic and working Instagram, engaging with your target audience and driving that traffic, getting your first customers so that you can then move into the paid traffic phase. And if you're in the paid traffic phase, then really invest some money into those lookalike audiences. I think that you're gonna really be blown away. If you got a lot out of this video, smash the like button for me. And if you haven't already, check out my free clothing brand marketing masterclass. It's 100% free to watch. All you have to do to get access is go to apparelsuccess.com/masterclass. You can watch the whole thing for free. And if you've made it to this point in the video, I want to tell you about the closed Facebook group that we have for Apparel Success. There's a link in the description. Follow that link, join us in the group, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.